Are you looking at me?
No. Wait, this is what I'm saying. Fuck.
No, because you're being weird.
Hey.
Please, stop. Please.
No, take her outside. Take her outside.
Just, she off that Hennessy, man.
Blue, can you come here? No, can
I gotta take you. I gotta take you.
Blue, come here. Why you come here like that? Can you come here? Hey, come here, bro. What are you like? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Blue.
All right, guys, welcome back to the MDmedic podcast. Today we're going to discuss why it is that your woman disrespects you, why it is that she misbehaves, and what you can do to fix it. Let's go. All right, guys, we've had the MDmedic podcast going on for a few months now, and if you have watched one or more of my videos, then I expect you to go ahead and give me a like and a subscribe. Help us to boost this channel in the algorithm to get everyone else the message about what we're talking about here. To make men the strongest, the sexiest, the most ripped, the most rich men that they can be, the best men that they can be. That's what we're about here at the MDmedic podcast. So let's go ahead and give us a like and a subscribe. Also, guys, I want you guys to tell me what it is that you want to hear me talk about. Go ahead and put in the comments suggestions for future shows, suggestions of things that you want me to discuss in the MDmedic podcast, and I will try to get to all of them. So let's get right into it. Unfortunately, guys, you've all seen it. It has become more and more common to see girls acting blatantly disrespectful to men. We live in a culture that absolutely just glorifies women misbehaving. You see it in music, you see it on TV, you see it in people's, social media profile bios. I am unfriendly, I am not nice, I am rude, I have an attitude, and people glorify that as if it's cute, as if it's cool, and it is not. How many times have you seen a girl absolutely flip out in public, or absolutely just insult and shame and disrespect a man that in a way that you would never see another man do to a man? You see girls all the time insulting men and saying things to men that if another man said it, he would be killed for. But it is becoming an everyday thing in this culture to see girls absolutely just going off the rails in disrespect for a man. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are afraid to even talk to your girl. You're afraid to even say anything that might offend her. You're walking on eggshells because you're afraid of her blowing up on you. You're afraid of her saying things like you're controlling, you have a little dick, or just outright blowing up and disrespecting you. Now, in case you guys don't really know what I'm talking about, in case you need an example of what I'm talking about, which I'm sure that you don't, but in case you do, I'm going to give you an example of some girls that are unruly, disrespectful, absolutely wild, misbehaving in every sense, off of the rails, and acting in an unacceptable fashion. And then we're going to talk about how and why you see that in today's culture and how you can prevent that from happening in your life. Take a look at this montage.
I want my way to shit because I don't like one. I'm very big on black people. I don't like the whole putting black people out there like as the angry black woman, angry black man. I hate shit like that.
Whatever. Keep it moving.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, you gotta be real careful, you know what I mean?
What?
It's over. We're done.
Sorry. What are you, Damie?
Baby, we couldn't even get a drink together.
Why?
You can't buy me nothing.
What do you mean?
Look at your outfit. What are you wearing?
I think I look pretty fly.
For who, your mom?
Maybe.
Okay. Not for me.
Couple arguing right here. Easy, girl. Holy shit, she got the phone.
Back it up, nigga. Back it up. Fuck you talking about, bitch, nigga. You better back it up. Yelling at my motherfucking baby, bitch. Yell again, baby. Cause I want that fuck nigga to finish, nigga. You better back it up. Say, don't yell at nothing I supply for. You do a motherfucking thing. You better back it up. She can yell. You better back it up. She can yell. You better back it up. She can yell. She can yell. What's up? What's up? What's up? Exactly. Pussy nigga. Come on, he getting like off. You get fucked. Getting off on this. Like
cool. My name's King Richie.
Can I just say stop asking me so many questions then? I'm joking. Okay, I'm out. I'm done. Not out. I'm just quiet. This is it.
You see, this is the thing, yeah. Like, I conduct this show under host, yeah, and takes a lot of money to do this show, a lot of organization, a lot of people do a lot of things. This is a big team, and you know, I just ask for cooperation and like respect on the show a little bit. You know, I think I'm actually quite easygoing compared to a lot of people that do podcasts as well. And like, sometimes I feel like people, I don't know, maybe their character, they're not used to these kind of situations or something. But like, you know, a lot of times.
Can I just say that I didn't even know I was doing this?
No.
I didn't.
No, but at the end of the day, why do you keep interrupting? Don't you think that's a bit rude?
It's super rude.
So
but
why
I
do you
am
keep doing
rude.
it?
You shouldn't have invited me on your show.
I don't know you. I never recruited you. I don't know you. And to be honest, how old are you? You don't even want to say how old.
I don't ever tell you.
You don't want to say your age, but you're obviously the oldest person here.
Absolutely.
And you're acting like the youngest person here.
Okay, I'll mature.
Like, don't you think that's a bit like out of line?
Not really.
You don't think it's out of line?
No, I don't, because I am who I am.
Yeah, but don't you think you should act like a reasonable adult?
Well, you just took 10 minutes to promote how cool you are because you spent so much money, and I should honor you for being on your podcast. When I'm saying I didn't even know I was going to be on live TV.
It's not TV.
Well, YouTube is video.
Yeah, but it's not TV though.
It's video, bro. Video, audio, two different things.
Why are you shouting? Why are you shouting?
I'm just saying, I didn't know, so don't put me down. I get you.
Yo, listen.
It's about them too.
Listen.
All right, guys, if this behavior is not absolutely unacceptable, I don't know what kind of behavior from a woman is unacceptable. This is absolutely wild. You guys saw how these girls acted. You guys saw how these girls were blatantly disrespectful and had no fear of consequences. And I'm sure many of you can think back to personal examples in your own life where you've seen women act like this. Some of you probably have seen your own girl act like this. And I'm going to explain to you why this happens and how you can get this under control. So, why do women act like this? Why do you see women absolutely misbehaving more and more commonly today? Part of it is because women are pedestalized and given loads of attention. You see, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 75 years ago. Pretty much every era in Western culture prior to the modern era of social media, women had to get attention in person. And mind you, women have always had more access to attention, affection, favors than men have, but it was on a much more limited scale before the advent of social media. Men had to in person come up, give them favor, give them attention, compliment, and things like that. But now a woman on social media is constantly bombarded by attention. You know, you can take your average girl who's just kind of attractive. If she simply posts some skimpy picture on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, whatever, if she simply posts some skimpy picture on social media, she could have thousands of likes. Her DM's full of dudes that are just simping away saying, oh my gosh, you're so perfect. You're beautiful. I would drink your bathwater. I would totally lick your butthole. I would worship the ground that you tread on. You see this all the time. Women have so much attention coming their way, and because of that, they have an overinflated sense of self-worth. Women feel like they get so much attention that they don't have to respect anybody or put up with anyone that is actually setting boundaries for them or having any kinds of expectation for their behavior. Women think that they have replacements for you. Yes, if you're a man, the average woman thinks that she can replace you, and so she is a lot less likely to listen to you, and more so, if you say anything that disagrees with her, if you say anything that actually puts a constraint or a limit on her behavior or anything that is criticizing her poor behavior, she's going to freak out on you because she thinks that she is God's gift to humanity and that you are quite frankly beneath her because she gets so much attention that is blowing up her head, making her think that she is more important than she actually is, making her think that she is valuable, smart, interesting, awesome, all these different things, when really simpy dudes just want to sleep with her and they'll say anything they can to make her allow them to get into her pants. They don't understand this though. For some reason, women happen to conflate men's sexual attention with attention of actual admiration with men that actually want to take her seriously. Women, if you are watching this and you're not offended already and like tuned out of this, just because a dude wants to sleep with you does not mean he actually wants to keep you. That will take you far. So, because of social media, because of constant attention, women have an overinflated sense of self-worth, and they feel like you're replaceable because they're like, oh my gosh, I got all these men in my DM, so I don't have to deal with this nigga talking crap about me. I don't have to deal with this nigga telling me what I have to do. You guys have heard women do this. You guys have seen how women act, how women explode because they're like, oh my God, I'm perfect. You're not worshiping the ground that I tread on? How dare you? And that's why they explode and act a complete fool. And you have to think about this, guys. Think about this. Just for a second. Let's conceptualize this. Women, just for existing, get a lot of attention, get a lot of sexual affection. How many times do you see a girl who's done absolutely nothing with her life? She might be 18, 19, 20, whatever. She still lives with her parents. She does nothing but smoke weed and talk about how she's going to manifest her dreams and absorb the positive energy from her crystals because she's a Scorpio and she's just giving good vibes today and all of this just absolute clown world, ridiculous stuff that you hear chicks saying. But this trashy, stupid, not interesting bimbo will still be able to land a high-value man simply because she's a pretty female. So in other words, women are born with their value up front. They're given an inherent amount of value where men are always going to want them no matter what they do because they are attractive. And I know this sounds like I am like dogging women, that I am angry about women having this privilege, but no, I'm just stating it because it's a reality. And it's a reality that we have to accept so that we can compete to get the same level of respect from women. So we can be as desirable to women as the average pretty girl is to most men. But yes, these women get all this free attention for doing absolutely nothing. Now men, think about this. If you got attention for simply existing, if you could sit in your mom's basement, play video games all day, be fat, be lazy, not shower, not care about your hygiene, not care about your mental development, not have to learn how to speak and carry on game or how to make money, on how to interact with people. You could sit and smoke weed all day and talk about how you're gonna manifest positive energy into the universe by rubbing on your crystals because you're a Scorpio. while playing video games and eating Cheetos. But yet, you were able to do all of this, and chicks still are wanting to come over your house every day and suck your dick. Chicks are begging to take you out on dates. Your DMs are full of hundreds of girls every single day trying to get your attention, trying to take you out on expensive dates, buy you stuff, have sex with you constantly, give you attention, tell you that you're just the greatest, most beautiful thing, that any girl will be lucky to have you. Girls always wanting to simp over you and come your direction. Wouldn't you feel like you were kind of the crap? Wouldn't you feel like you were the stuff? Wouldn't you feel like nobody could tell you nothing? Wouldn't you have an overinflated sense of self-worth too? Wouldn't you not have any drive to become a better human being because there is no incentive, because you are living life on easy mode and you are literally getting all the benefits by doing nothing? That's how a girl lives. Let's be honest. Let's keep it a stack. The average girl does not have to do anything but exist to get male attention. And because of that, most of them have an overinflated sense of self-worth. And I would too, if I were able to get this much sexual attention, this much simping, this many favors, this many compliments, all for simply existing. So we have to understand why it is that girls think this way. Why it is that girls want to explode when someone tells her something different, that you are just angelic. You are a holy being. You are perfect and everything about you is right. You have to understand the reason why they explode is because they've never been told anything but they are awesome and they can do no wrong. And this is because most guys are simps. Most girls have never been told no, ever, because they are simps. Unless they had a dad, which I always talk about. Girls that have dads are on a good track to possibly become a girl worth taking seriously. Now, in today's world, even girls that have daddies can belong to the streets. But in general, you're probably better off. And you know, I am making a rule for the general public. There's always exceptions to the rule, but a girl is probably going to be better off and better as a partner for a man if she has a dad, because a dad has told this girl no before and she understands what it is like to have a man set boundaries for her and for her to learn how to respect a man. But in today's culture, where most kids are into single mother households, most girls have never been told no before. Especially not by guys in romantic relationships, because let's be honest, most guys are simps. Most guys have such a scarcity mindset when it comes to women that they will knowingly tolerate an insane amount of disrespect and foolishness from a woman out of fear of upsetting her with his correction. Come on, guys, let's keep it a stack. How many times have you been on a date with a girl, and even some alpha G's out there, like this has happened to me before, and I don't simp. But there's been times where I'm just like, you know what, I don't really like this girl, but I really want to get laid. So I'm not going to, really say anything to trigger her. I'm not going to tell her how stupid that she sounds here on this date, talking about how she's a Gemini and how, because I am a whatever star sign, I am compatible with her and she can just feel the good vibes and energy, and how she's an entrepreneur and a boss bee but can't even explain entrepreneur or even, know what it means. She just thinks that just because she's a girl who listens to Cardi B, she's an entrepreneur and a boss, bitch. Like, how many times have you guys been in this situation where we're on a date with this girl and she is annoying as hell? You do not like her, she's intolerable, but you just want to get the box, so you just put up with it. Now, sometimes, I get it. Sometimes you are just wanting to smash and pass, nut and strut, come and run, ejaculate and evacuate, and you don't want to take the girl seriously. And so in order to not upset her, you don't say anything. But when you on purpose are trying to take one of these girls seriously because you cannot do better, you cannot find better, and you tolerate their poor behavior, you are effectively enabling her to disrespect you and to misbehave. Most guys cannot and will not correct a girl on her poor behavior because they just don't have the frame to do it, because they are simps. They are afraid. As we said, getting women for the average guy is extremely difficult. I always quote it and I'll quote it again. The Tinder study that said the average guy, the guy who's in the bottom 80% of attractiveness, and that's in socioeconomic status, that's in physical attractiveness, the average guy in the United States, the vast majority, 80% of them, the guy who is 5'8", makes $40,000 a year, 75% of them are overweight, that's your average American man, he only has a 1 out of 115 chance of getting liked by a girl on Tinder. 1 out of 115. And the only girls that even like him, would even give the average guy a chance, are the girls that are, in the bottom 20% of attractiveness. So, these guys are really desperate and fighting for what they can get. 33% of men in the United States today, a third of them are either virgins or haven't had sex in a year. So, when most guys have any interaction with a woman, no matter her quality, no matter her level of attractiveness, they have a scarcity mindset. They have to work so hard to get a girl by the skin of his teeth that he is so scared to lose out on his one and only chance of even getting a whiff of pussy. So do you think that they're going to call out a girl on her inadequacies or check her bad behavior? No. And when these guys continuously do that, girls think that they can absolutely walk all over men because they've never been told no. They've never been told that they were inadequate. They've never been told, hey, you actually sound really dumb. You don't really have a whole lot to offer. You're annoying, you're disrespectful, and I would really like you to correct your behavior and watch how you talk to me. I will not tolerate any of this. If you continue doing this, you will be single. Most guys can't do that because guys are in a scarcity mindset. That's why on this podcast, I tell you guys to be better, to become ripped, rich, masculine, and a dominant person in every situation so that you can have your choice of women, so that women become pick-me's for you and you don't have to simp for them. So, if I as a man were to go and to say things like, hey, you know what? I'm a Gemini. I'm just going to manifest success without putting forth any hard work or even creating a strategy or plan because I'm a boss. I'm independent. I don't need a woman. How retarded do I sound? I sound absolutely retarded. And guess what? I won't get anywhere in life with that attitude as a man. I'm going to get punished. I'm going to get ridiculed. I am not going to have a job probably. And I'm definitely not going to get any pussy. And this is because the world punishes men for their inadequacies. But the world does not punish women. So men actually have to learn, hey, I have to become something. I have to hold myself to a certain level of respect. And in general, women don't really have that. So when you actually come in and you give a contrarian opinion or say anything other than you are perfect, you're a goddess, you're a queen, you're just manifesting greatness, these girls are going to get angry because they've never had anybody or anything, whether in a relationship, whether in society, and particularly if they don't have a dad, tell them that they are not perfect and teach them how to respect people. Another reason why your girl disrespects you, not mine, because all the women that I deal with very much respect me and they know that I won't tolerate anything because I've built that frame. Another reason why a lot of women are disrespectful to men, are absolutely just firecrackers, is because society does not reinforce any consequences in them like it does with men, kind of like I said before. For example, as a man, we already know that when we're dealing with other men, we have to be respectful, we have to be direct, we have to make sense, and we cannot be insulting, we cannot, be rude, we cannot say anything that is an absolute violation of someone's character or of someone's honor because there is the real threat of violence. You know that as a man, if you run your mouth to another dude, as the old saying goes, you talk shit, you get hit. You might actually get knocked out. Straight up. As a dude, if you run your mouth, if you disrespect another man, there is the real threat of violence. And that right there makes men have to learn respect, have to learn how to speak to other men respectfully. And if a man does not speak to another man respectfully, he already knows that there is the realistic threat of violence and he has to prepare for that. However, women do not have that. And guys, I want you to be completely clear. I am not advocating for domestic violence, guys. Please, I am not advocating for domestic violence. One more time, before anybody cuts up what I'm saying into little TikTok clips and tries to make me look like something that I'm not, I will say once again, I am not advocating for domestic violence. But if you look back in history, just as a historical example, you know, it used to actually be in law codes that men were allowed to physically punish their women and their children. The whole idea of the rule of thumb, you know, we've all heard the saying, the rule of thumb, that actually comes from Old English common law that basically says you are allowed to whoop and discipline your children and your wife for disrespecting you, for misbehaving as long with a stick, as long as that stick is smaller than the diameter of your thumb. Look this up, guys. This is actually real. This actually used to happen. And if you talk to your grandparents and your great-grandparents, they will actually tell you, hey, if a woman ran her mouth, if a woman was disrespectful, she actually might have had the taste slapped out of her mouth. Guys, I'm not condoning that. I'm just giving an example. And that's why you see, back in the day, you did not see women exploding like this. You did not see women getting angry like this. You did not see women being disrespectful and being absolutely unruly, because there was a realistic threat of violence, and women knew that they don't have hands in comparison to a man. Let's be honest, guys. As many of you liberated female, you know, Mother Nature, Queen of the Earth women that are out there, feminist queens, you have absolutely no chance against a man in physical combat. And that's not a dig against women, that is just biology. So back in the day, women were much more careful before they were disrespectful and rude and misbehaving to a man, because the threat of violence was a realistic threat. But you look at today, women actually, you know, they don't think anything's going to happen to them, because we live in the Me Too culture. We live in a culture that, you know, is absolutely willing to cancel men and destroy a man's life, even over an accusation, even over an allegation of domestic violence or anything like that. It doesn't even have to be true. He can just be accused, and he's going to probably go into jail. He's going to get put in jail. He's going to get charged with all kinds of domestic violence crimes, and he's going to be, you know, guilty until proven innocent. And so men, you know, are pretty well deterred from committing domestic violence now. And women are pretty confident, let's be honest, that men aren't going to do anything to them. That's why they talk like this. So there's a lack of consequences. And I think as a man, you should apply consequences to your girl for disrespecting you, not hitting them, guys. Once again, not hitting them. But your girl will give you the best behavior when she knows that there is consequences to her poor behavior. And guys, quite frankly, if your girl disrespects you, if she acts like one of the girls from this video, who is disrespectful, who's loud, who gets all up in your face, who yells at you, who calls you out of your name, who has no respect, no integrity when dealing with you at all, and is even willing to put her hands on you or destroy your property, one of the reasons why she might be doing that is because she just doesn't really respect you that much. She doesn't like you that much. And I know that might be a hard pill to swallow, but the way you become better is by accepting the truth first. The red pill is a really tough pill to swallow, but it's a pill that's going to make you better in the end. Your girl is disrespecting you because she doesn't think that your value is that high. She thinks her value, quite frankly, is higher than yours. Even though, you know, you may be paying all of the bills in the relationship, you may be paying for all of the dinners, you may be the one that always takes her out, that provides the most value in the relationship, her overinflated sense of self-worth and your less than dazzling self, your less than dazzling presentation of yourself leaves her underwhelmed, and she feels like she can do better. And once again, as I said, she feels like you're replaceable. She doesn't respect you that much, probably because you simple lie. And I'm going to say something, guys. If a girl is acting a fool and a guy corrects her, whether that be on social media, whether that be in person, and you come in and take her side simply because you're trying to get a whiff of pussy, you're not making her wet, you are not making her say, you know what, I want to screw this guy. Or if a girl is acting a fool, and girls, listen, go ahead and like put a 1 in the comment if I'm telling the truth. Put a 1 in the comments if I am not telling a lie. There's been times, I'm sure, ladies, verify this, that you know that you're being moody, you know that you're being disrespectful. You have said something that you all of a sudden, like, you immediately know after you said, oh my gosh, that was disrespectful. I probably shouldn't have said that. And the guy let it slide. The guy didn't say anything about it. The guy didn't have any kind of frame. The guy didn't demand you to apologize. The guy didn't say, hey, you're not going to do that. The guy didn't enforce any consequences. And you lost respect for him because he had such a scarcity, desperate mindset that he allowed you to disrespect him without any consequence. I'm sure that that made you respect him less and that your pussy dried up the moment he started simping. Guys, I'm telling you, simping is not going to be the way that you get what you want. Never should a guy be a dick. Never should a guy be, a moral degenerate. Never should a guy be a poorly conducted member of society who commits crimes and hurts other people. You shouldn't be a bad boy in that sense, but a bad boy in the sense that you don't take crap from anyone. A bad boy in a sense that you're willing to stand up for yourself and not be the nice little simp who allows himself to be a doormat. Guys, if you simp, your girl really doesn't respect you that much, and she feels like you are replaceable. And quite frankly, the reason why she acts out so much, the reason why she disrespects you, the reason why she still wants to go out to the club with her hoe friends, the reason why she doesn't have any pictures of you on social media, but she still has all kinds of thirsty pictures where she has her titties out and her butt out and she's thirsting for attention, looking single. The reason why she still has an OnlyFans while she's in a relationship is because you are just a placeholder boyfriend and she doesn't like you that much. The reason why she might ask, hey, can we have an open relationship? It's because she doesn't like you that much. You're a placeholder boyfriend. You are fulfilling her emotional needs or her needs for physical security just until she finds a better option. You are being her emotional tampon so she can feel like, hey, I have somebody here. I can dump all of my emotional instability on this guy. He can, hold me when I'm cold, hold me when I'm sad at night, but ultimately I really don't like him that much and I'm looking for a better option. So that's why I'm still advertising myself out there. She doesn't like you that much and she doesn't respect you, and that's why she is willing to act like that. Women in general act a fool when they don't respect someone. Women in general act a fool when they don't expect there to be consequences because they are only used to being around men that want so bad to sleep with them that they're not going to hold them to any levels of accountability. Now, since we've broken down the reasons why girls act a fool, the reason why your girl misbehaves, the reason why your girl disrespects you, let's talk about what you can do to make your girl act right. Now, I'm going to tell you something. These are strategies that I'm going to give. And, oftentimes if you're with a girl who's already kind of been set into the pattern of disrespecting you, she's not going to change no matter what you do. And you need to get rid of her. You could try changing your frame, implementing some of these pieces of advice that I'm about to give. And it may take a little bit of work, but she may start respecting you and start acting better. But a lot of times the girls are so set in their ways and they're so used to this that your best option is to get rid of her. Stop being a simp. Stop being so desperate-minded and saying, oh, if I get rid of her, I may not be able to get pussy again for another 5 years. No, just make yourself better and you can have all the options that you want. Get rid of her. Start over with another girl. An established frame from the beginning, and she's going to respect you better. Now, men, let's get into how to get your girl to act right. First of all, you have to get your value up. You have to become a man of value because no woman will respect you if you're a bum trying to lay down some frame. Guys, if I'm a bum, if I can barely pay my bills, if I'm making $7.50 an hour at Dairy Queen and I have to have a girlfriend bring me to work because I can't afford a car and I am out of shape, I'm not that attractive, I don't take care of myself, and other girls are absolutely disgusted by me and I don't get any other female attention, what am I going to look like if I am trying to lay down any kind of frame in the relationship and putting forth boundaries and consequences and saying, hey, this is what you are going to do, this is what you aren't going to do? She will not respect you at all. So guys, get your value up, get in shape, work harder, get your money up, go back to school if you have to, go to a trade school, work a bunch of overtime, make yourself look better, smell better, be better in every single way. And that's how you're going to get your value up. You have to do that. That is an absolute mandatory. Become a man that can attract attention of other women. And you know that you're on the right track when you're starting to see little differences in when you go out in public. When you go to Walmart and you see the cashier girl starting to stare at you a little bit more. Or, you're at a restaurant and the waitress kind of twirls her hair as she's talking to you. Or you start getting a random eye contact from girls from across the room because you're starting to become more attractive. You're starting to, get in shape, carry yourself with a little bit more dominance, have your chest up. When you're on the right path in life, you give off an aura. You give off pheromones of a G, and women recognize it. Women recognize how you carry yourself. Women, tell me I'm right. Or if I'm wrong, let me know. But this is true. When a man has his stuff together, when a man is confident and he's on the right path, he gives off an aura that makes him irresistible to women. And so when you start to have that, you're on the right path to establishing the frame that you need to get the best behavior out of your girl in a relationship. You have to become the kind of guy that can attract other women. Your girl, this is going to be controversial, but as a man, you need to have maximum confidence. And your girl needs to be insecure in her place with you. That sounds terrible, but the relationship will work the best for both parties when you are maximally confident and she is a little bit on the insecure side. Make her feel like you can actually do better than her. Make her feel like, I'll say that again, make her feel like you can do better than her. Make her feel like you have other options, that she is replaceable, that you are the one of value in the relationship, and she's going to respect you more. And then you could lay down your boundaries. Listen, when she knows that you can attract other women, she's going to start to kind of be on her feet about it. And when she starts to maybe get angry and say, I saw, there's these girls at your job, and I'm sure that they're probably trying to talk to you. Or I saw how that girl was looking at you the other day. Or that waitress, you see her, I didn't like how she was like making eye contact with you, or how she looked like she was flirting with you. Guys, when that happens, I'm telling you, don't reassure your girl. Don't say, oh no, queen, don't worry. You don't have anything to worry about. I'm all yours. I'm never going anywhere. Listen, don't reassure your girl. Reassure her that you love her. You can say, hey, you know what? I love you with all my heart. You're amazing. You're great. All this stuff. Don't lie to her about that. Like, reassure her that you love her, but never say you're not going to go anywhere. Never say, oh, don't worry about this girl. Never say that. Even if you don't intend to do anything with another girl. Even if you don't intend it, never tell your girl that, because her being a little bit insecure, her feeling like you really could replace her if she's not on her A game, will make her have the best behavior. Also, guys, another tip, never argue with a woman. Never argue. You must establish your boundaries and lay down consequences. For example, if your girl is posting all kinds of provocative pictures on social media, if she always wants to go out to the club with her single friends dressed like hoes, staying out to 4 a.m. in the morning, going to a club where, she's getting in for free and men are buying her drinks and asking them to come and sit in their sections because they're all trying to smash, absolutely disrespecting you by essentially advertising herself to other men. If she's doing things like this and you want her to stop, you simply say very calmly, hey, listen, I don't appreciate you doing this. This is disrespectful to me, but ultimately I can't tell you what to do. You're a grown adult and you can make your own decisions. But I'm going to tell you something. You can do exactly what you want. You can make whatever decision you want. That's fine. But if you choose not to respect my boundaries, you will be single when you get home. You say it just like that. You establish the boundaries. Or if a girl, decides to raise her voice at you, if she decides to scream at you, to call you out of your name, you tell her, if you do this again, I am leaving you at this restaurant. You're paying for this food and you will be single. Or, if she's calling you out of your name and you're at home, you say, you know what? If you think that you can disrespect me, that implies that you don't need me. That means you can pay your own bills. You can do all of this stuff. I'm out. And you mean it. You immediately enforce the consequences that you say you're going to enforce. You don't argue with the women. And you do it even over smaller things that aren't as big, because what will happen if you establish yourself with frame and being absolutely the G you say you are in the small things, they're going to not even try to try you in the bigger things. You don't negotiate with them. You don't negotiate with terrorists, guys. That's the United States foreign policy. Don't negotiate with terrorists. Don't negotiate on your boundaries because you've built the frame to become a man of value. And do not argue with them because arguing back and forth with a woman after you've already made your point is pointless. Just like if you were to get into the water and try to fight a shark, you would be absolutely outmatched because a shark is built to kill in the water. However, if a shark were to come on land, it wouldn't stand a chance against you because that's your territory. In a similar way, if you try to argue with the woman and get into the realm of emotions and flaring up in passions and impulsivity, you are getting in a woman's territory. Women work, think, act in the realm of emotion. It's just a fact, guys. So if you try to argue with the girl back and forth, raise your voice, get all emotional, get all angry, you are getting into the water of the shark and she is going to have her way. You are not going to be able to win that battle. And quite frankly, by you arguing with her, you're giving her the upper hand and you are actually putting forth feminine traits that she's going to respect less. You say what you have to say a few times. She doesn't listen to you. Don't raise your voice. You immediately enforce consequences without negotiating. Listen, guys, here's the kicker. She may act angry. She may flip out. She may act mad, but do not negotiate. Do not back up on your consequences. She may get angry, but she will ultimately respect you more because you had frame. As I said before, simps do not make women wet. Simps do not attract women. You know, if you say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you that mad. You know, I just didn't like what you did. But, you know, I went overboard. I'm sorry. Please don't be mad at me. You know, I just don't want you to do that again. I don't want you to do that anymore. Like, she's not going to respect you. She may be happy in the short term that she, like, you know, got her way. But she's not going to respect you. And I guarantee her desire to suck your penis has greatly diminished. But if you have frame, if you hold her to consequences and make her realize that you are serious, you're actually putting yourself in a position of masculinity and a position of dominance, which is, you know, wildly making her more attracted to you. Because we did in a previous episode, we talked about the different things that women are actually attracted to, that it's in their biological nature. They cannot escape it. It's in their genes to be attracted to. And these are men who are dominant, who are leaders, men who can protect, who can provide, who are alphas. And, you know, guys who are in this kind of class, they aren't desperate for women. They aren't bending their knee to a woman's emotions. They aren't, you know, backing off of their frame. These guys say what they mean what they say, and they stand by it. And so by you doing that, you're actually putting yourself in a position of being more attractive to women. And she may leave, she may be angry, she may cry. Don't break it. Just leave, enforce the consequences, go away, and you don't text her first. You don't call her first. You make her realize, hey, you know what? This guy, he's a guy of value. He's got some status to him. He's very attractive. You know, as I said, guys, it's super easy to be above average. Just, you know, 75% of men are overweight in shape. The majority of men in the United States make $40,000 a year. You make more, work a bunch more, make yourself smarter, make yourself more intelligent, make yourself more attractive than the average. These women will respect you more. And then once she makes you upset and once you enforce a consequence on her, she blows up. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm leaving. She'll sit. She may even try to entertain a couple other dudes who are average and see that, you know what? Man, this guy that I couldn't behave for, he's a rarity. He's very attractive. He's hard to find. And here I am back out on the streets dealing with all these dudes that I don't even like. But this guy's a G, and I'm actually, for some reason, a whole lot more attracted to him. And for some reason, I want to suck his dick a whole lot more because he's a G, he's dominant, and he can tell me no. And I guarantee, more times than not, when you have frame, guys, I can't tell you how many times I've told chicks, bye, deuces. These are your consequences. You cross the line. You are going to behave, and if you can't, bye, you're single. They get upset, they leave, I don't say anything, I continue living my life. I show myself to be in a place of abundance, and not even 2 weeks later, they almost always, 95% of the time, come back. Oh, I'm sorry. I learned my lesson. Oh, how can I make it up to you? I am so sorry. I am so sorry. You know, I can't find better. I tried, and, you know, guys just aren't you, and I can't love the same, and, you know, I will respect you. I learned my lesson. Please, please, please take me back. I'm telling you, bro, 95% of the time they come back because girls like frame in the end. And they really don't like simps unless he is just their temporary emotional tampon. Don't be that guy. Now, when this girl comes back after violating your boundaries and you enforce consequences, and, you know, she's upset and she learned her lesson, at least she says that she does, you enforce a penance to reinforce the lesson. Now, what is penance? So, I always bring in history, as you guys know. If you look back in the old Catholic Church, the monks and friars of the medieval era, they actually believed that if you committed a sin, you had to do a thing called penance to pay for that sin. Even though this is like extremely erroneous according to the biblical narrative, because Jesus literally died and took lashes and stripes and a cross to pay for our sins. So it's stupid that people would think that you have to do something to yourself to pay for your sins. But they actually thought that way. The friars would essentially believe that if you did something bad, you had to, you know, pay a certain amount of money to the church that was sacrificial, you know, as a way of saying, oh, I'm sorry, or even like scourge yourself with a whip yourself on the back, or cut yourself to say, you know what, I'm sorry. That was penance, a way of paying back for wrongdoing. And guys, if you do take a girl back after you've enforced consequences, she's reached out to you first saying that she wants to come back because you're a G, give her penance. You can say, you know what, I'll take you back, but you're going to be deleting your social media, or you're going to be setting your Instagram to private just to show me that you're serious about not putting yourself out there and respecting me. Or, you know, I'll take you back, but you're going to be sucking a whole lot of dick. Or, I'll take you back, but as a consequence, if ever you disrespect me again, I'm going to give you one chance, and I'm going to tell you to kneel in public. And no matter if we're at a restaurant, at a party, whatever, and if you don't do it, we're out again. You give her a consequence. You give her a penance to pay, and that will reinforce the lesson and let her know that this is serious. And I know this sounds so cruel, guys. I know it sounds tough. It sounds cruel, but it's really not, guys. First of all, I'm all for men respecting women. And you can't force anyone to do something that they don't want to do. The woman is always free to leave and go and live her own life and do whatever she wants. But in order for her to be part of your life, in order to be on your train where you're the pilot, she has to follow your rules. And ultimately, guys, though it may sound controlling, this is how you have to establish frame. And in the end, it's going to make both you and her the happiest. She is actually going to be even more attracted to you because you are willing to stand up and have frame. And you are going to have more peace in your relationship and therefore love her more because she's respecting you, because she's giving you that honor, that, you know, kindness, that respect, that nurturing side of herself that you actually want. Women are not going to behave like the women in these videos if they know that there's going to be consequences to it. And I'm going to tell you, if you actually look at the happiest women that are in the world nowadays, they're in countries that have a very traditional, masculine, patriarchal structure. In the United States, you look at women who are the most happy in their relationships. They are women that respect their men, but also understand that there's going to be consequences to disrespecting their men. So, you know, I know a lot of people might be like, oh, this is harsh, this sounds controlling, you sound very misogynist, but no, results speak for themselves. Women are actually going to be more attracted to you if you can have some frame. They actually want you to. And I dare say, I've heard a lot of girls actually tell me that the reason why they act out, the reason why they show out is to even test to see if their guy is going to be dominant enough to tell them, get in line, get in order. Once again, women, correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of times women will test a guy's frame by acting out on purpose, by being disrespectful, to see, is he going to be the kind of guy that can keep her in check? Because ultimately that's what women want. Guys, once again, I'm not saying to be a dick to women. The right woman, A woman who adds value to you, a woman who truly loves you, a woman who gives you the respect that you deserve, a woman who is completely loyal and faithful to you and understands your value and understands where she gets her value as a woman. That kind of woman is worth dying for. That is a woman worth keeping, worth wifing, worth taking seriously. That woman deserves every bit of blood, sweat, tears, and financial resources that you can give to her. I am all for being absolutely respectful to women. But in order for a woman to get that from you, she has to learn that she has to give you respect. Because that is the kind of men that I want to make you guys into, the kind of men that are worth respecting. The men that are the richest, the strongest, the sexiest, the most talented, the most in shape men that they could possibly be, because that is what we are about here on the MDmedic podcast, making you guys the best. So you can get the best that you can possibly get out of life. You can have the life that you want, the women that you want, and the respect that you want. So I hope I helped you guys to become a better man, to have happier, more fulfilling relationships where you feel respected and the woman is more attracted to you because you're the kind of man that can keep her in check. You're the kind of dominant man that she actually dreams about. MDmedic Podcast, we out.